Okay. It's 6 o'clock on November 13th, 2023. This is the meeting of the regularly scheduled meeting of the Sewer Commission. I should have asked Dave. Do you have a flag there, Dave? Okay. I'm John Reynolds, Chairman of the Sewer Commission, and I'd like everyone to join in the Pledge of Allegiance. Dave, you want to start out?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under
under
God,
God, indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty and justice for all.
Okay, great. Again, as I stated, I'm John Reynolds, Chairman of the Sewer Commission. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting of the Sewer Commission is being recorded and will be available to be found on the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel after the meeting. The following information is also provided for members of the public that would like to participate in the meeting remotely. To participate remotely from a computer, please use the link to join the public meeting webinar found on the posted agenda, or from a telephone, dial the toll-free number 888-475-4499 and enter the webinar ID 792-737-0353. Again, that's 792-737-0353. I'll do a roll call vote to confirm all members are present. When I call your name, please answer in the affirmative. Brett Ramsden.
Aye, here.
Dave McDonald.
here.
Mike Null.
I just text them.
Okay. Mike Mackin.
Here.
And I for myself. The staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Let's see. Bill is at another meeting, correct? Bill is saying, please let me in the meeting.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Mike is saying, let me in the meeting.
Let him wait.
Paula, you are here.
Yes.
And Jane, you are
Here.
here.
Yes.
And hopefully Bill and Mike will be able to join us.
Mike's here.
Mike's there. Mike Nault is now here. So we have a large quorum tonight. Okay, hopefully Bill will be able to get in. Okay. I don't think we have any public, but any public comment from public I might not be seeing. No. So any public comment from the Sewer Commission?
Just a reminder that tomorrow is a special town meeting, and we're hoping that people take it seriously and show up.
That's a good point. I hope it's a well-attended meeting.
Mr. Chair, I urge everybody to come out with Mike to come out and vote and do your civil duty and
Okay.
have a good night.
I grew up in West Boylston. Whenever the moderator wanted to have a large attendance, he put a leash law on the agenda. Maybe we should consider that. Okay. Any announcements from
There's a
anyone?
trick to everything, isn't there?
Yeah. Any announcements from anyone? No. Okay, and we do not have any appointments tonight. So let's move right into current business. So Paul, I'm going to kind of give you the floor here.
Okay. I apologize if I seem a little bit off tonight. I literally am adding and subtracting as I'm talking. So current business, the Q2 fiscal 24 commitment, I'm going to hold off on that. I'm going to table that until we get this bill situation resolved. I haven't had a chance to talk with the town accountant to find out what we do with the commitment. Obviously, the commitment was generated, but I don't want you to have to sign a document that I know to be incorrect.
Okay.
The grease trap issues, we had an extension request from Mr. Arcidi Arcidia Cano, which I sent out to all of you guys. He's requesting an extension of the deadline for submittal of a report on the grease trap. He had contacted Dillis and Roy, and they didn't have the ability to do any information on the existing grease trap and sizing. So he did find a plumbing engineer that is willing to take on the work. His name is Mr. Pastori, but he is backlogged with other projects, and he can't start working on the project until the middle of December. So Mr. Arcidia Cano is saying he can deliver a report by Mr. Pastori no later than the middle of January. So he's requesting that extension.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, didn't we give him 60 days?
You
60
did,
days, which
You
would
did.
be December 10th, I think.
right.
Right.
So I think,
It's slightly, it's about a month extension he's looking for.
right.
Mr. Chair, with everything going on, I put a motion up there that we give them the extension.
Okay.
Very tough to get people right now.
Right. Any other comments from the commissioners?
Paul, do you have a recommendation on this?
I would recommend giving the extension. I've talked to him, and he is really working to try to get this issue resolved. He understands the importance of it, and he just can't get anyone to do the work sooner. And Mr. Pastori was the first one that said he would take the job and could get it done in a timely manner. Other engineers that he talked with said it would be months out.
Then I'd support the extension.
Okay. Brett, Mike,
I'm on board.
I'm good with it. I agree. He's.
yeah, and I'm fine with that too.
Sincere on it.
I don't, Paul, I don't think that's something you need us to take a vote on, do you?
Yes, you do.
You do. Okay, we do.
I'll make a motion to give the extension requested by the applicant.
Okay.
Brett, you second that?
No, I did.
Dave did. Okay.
Dave did.
Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair, I would just recommend that you do it to a date certain. So I would say maybe by January 3rd or January 5th. Your next meeting is January 9th.
That makes sense to me, so I accept that as the language.
We'll say the 4th. Is that okay? No, the 3rd, because I have to post the agenda. So the
The
3rd.
second. No, do I hear the third? I got
The 3rd. The 3rd. The
What do you
3rd.
say?
The 3rd.
So Mike, Mac, and you accept that?
I accept that,
amendment?
absolutely.
Okay, well, any discussion on
Well done, Michael.
the amended motion?
One quick question, Mr. Chair. One Main Street we're talking about, and Paula would know this, do we have a grease trap over at the convenience store that used to be a meat market?
Not to my knowledge.
He had one. I'm just wondering if that's tied into that sewer as well.
I honestly don't know. I'd have to look, and unfortunately, I wish I could tell you that all the grease trap files were in one place, but they're not. Some are at the Passios building.
Okay.
But I can investigate that.
It's a good
I
question.
mean, it's a good question. If he had a 3-bay sink, he would have had to have had some type of grease trap.
Well, he was a butcher. Remember there was a butcher shop there?
Right, there was. There
Yeah.
was.
They didn't do any cooking, but it still doesn't mean something wasn't going down there.
I think the 3-bay sink is more about cleaning up than
No, a 3-bay sink requires a grease trap.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Something to look at, that's all. I might
Okay,
be-
yep, I will look into that.
Okay, so any further discussion on the amended motion? Seeing none, let's do a roll call vote. I'll just follow my screen here. Dave McDonald,
I,
Brett,
Aye.
Mike Mack,
Aye.
excuse me, Mike Mack, Mike Nault,
Aye.
and I for myself. Motion's accepted. Okay, minutes. The minutes, once again, well written, they were lengthy. I don't know if everyone's had a chance to read them.
They are long.
I personally am waiting for the movie, Mr. Chair.
It's probably my longest meeting, but
It's a double feature with Killers of the August Moon.
yeah, yeah. So has everyone had a chance to read them?
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
so we want to make a motion to accept the minutes from the October 10th, 2023 meeting.
Mr. Chair, so moved.
Second, anyone want to second that?
I'll second that.
Okay, any further discussion?
Mr. Chair, I just want to thank Jane, again, another, I don't know how you kept track of all this, and I couldn't even find one little mistake.
Here, here.
Thank you, Dave.
Nice job, Jane.
Thanks.
Okay, so let's see, let's take a vote. Dave McDonald,
Aye.
Brett Ramsden,
Aye.
Mike Mackin,
I
Mike Nault,
Aye.
and I for myself. The minutes are accepted. Okay. Leominster, IMI, Dave or Mike Nault, or if
Paula,
Bill,
can you,
was Bill able to join?
excuse me, Mr. Chair, can you let Bill in, Paula? He just texted me.
I don't see him.
He's probably still signing up for the personnel meeting.
Oh, yeah, we're missing Bill.
I don't
Still.
see him.
Please ask Paula to let me in.
Hold on, let me. Why don't I
Dave,
see him?
text him back that Paula doesn't see him.
That's the story of his life.
I sent it too.
Yeah, I don't see him in the waiting room.
I'm gonna tell him try it. Okay,
All right, well, let's hope he can join us. Since he's not here, Dave or Mike Null, you want to take this?
yeah, we had a meeting, actually, I haven't seen any of the minutes on that. Is there minutes on that, Paula?
No. I just have, because I wasn't able to attend, I did just have Bill's notes, but I can certainly take a look at the meeting and try to do,
It's on tape too.
okay, yeah, I just have been completely consumed with this billing situation, so
Right, so
I have
Bill
not
said-
done anything
Bill
else.
said try again.
Why can't I see him?
He's a
I'm
little,
not getting a message that he's waiting to be admitted, and I'm not getting,
I wonder if he's clicking on.
He's still trying. He says this is ridiculous. He's trying it. It's not working.
Is he? Dave, ask him if he's clicking on the link that was in the agenda Paula sent out.
I'm sending him that now. Just so you know. You don't see him, Paula?
no.
Hold on.
Oh, now I see him. Now I
Okay.
see him.
Oh, there you go.
Yup, something's happening. There he
Hey,
is.
Bill. Well,
Welcome.
all right, Bill Bernard, the DPW director, has just joined the sewer commission meeting. And right now, Bill, we're at the Leominster IMA agreement. So I'm asking either Dave or Mike or you to,
Well, when we did the
Fill
meeting,
us in.
it was taped, Paula. It's on, I'm surprised they didn't put it on YouTube, but we have a video.
Okay, I'll have to track that down and take a look at it. I did retype the IMA because it's 25 years old and I don't think that there is an electronic copy. So I retyped it and put in the different edits that Leominster is proposing and the changes that you guys talked about at your meeting based on the feedback I got from Bill. So I don't know if you want to.
Just to give you some of the highlights that we did ask for a 25-year contract, MIA. We asked to talk about an increase in the flows on the Leominster over the next 25 years. When we're at 500,000, I think we asked for another 250,000. Is that right?
No, 800. You requested 800,000.
800,000
another 300, okay?
over the next 25 years. We are zeroing in on as being a customer of Leominster. And we're paying the same rate as the Leominster residents, so I gotta make that clear. But we should also be looking at the maintenance part of it. So if we're paying Leominster, just like a Leominster resident, we feel that they should help us with some of the maintenance of the lines going to their stations. So we're going that way. And Bill, am I missing anything? I think that was the starting points anyways.
Yeah, that was the highlights. Yep.
So there's an emergency section currently in the IMA, and I added to that section that Leominster will provide emergency services to Lunenburg on an agreed upon rate. Now, do you want to have a charge or do you not want to have a charge? Do we want to pay Leominster or not, is my question. We do, okay.
No, well, I think, and again, that would be a negotiating point that if Leominster agrees to that, we may want to sit down and go over certain hours and stuff. But we're looking at the emergency that happened with the flooding, for an example. Yeah, I think Leominster should be assisting us on that.
So Jake is looking for a modified wording. He reached out to me yesterday via email, Friday via email, and is looking for wording, revised wording, and where we are with the changes that they recommended. So my ask would be that you guys come up with some wording so that we can forward it over to them
Okay, so when do you need that done by?
as soon as possible.
I would recommend, let's get the billing situation squared away.
Okay, yeah,
As we're gonna talk about later on, we don't need that much right now.
yeah. So you're looking for emergency situations, but are you also looking for routine services such as jetting and vacuuming and
Yes.
cammering?
I would say so much, either a month or a quarter. Bill, what do you think?
Oops.
But you're muted, Bill.
Mute Bill.
Just thought I hit the button. I would say per year. I don't know if per month or per quarters, all that useful. Maybe so many hours per year might be better.
I mean, we can zero it in too. I mean, we can say we need assistance in the condo area, for example, or, I mean, I'll leave it up to you. I mean, you control the crews, but if you say we want 100 hours a quarter, you know, that's 400 hours a year they give us or whatever. We got to negotiate that, I think. But that's valuable for our customers too. Just keep that.
So why don't Bill and I come up with some draft language and then send it out to the subcommittee, and then you guys can approve it. And at least we can try that tack as long as the other commission members are in favor of that.
No, I'm in favor of that. I think that's, we have to let the subcommittee do the meetings, doing the work, and then back to us. So yes, that's fine, in my opinion. Anyone else?
I
Okay.
agree.
Mr. Chair, I agree with that, but before we send anything to anybody, it should be reviewed through this board first.
Sure.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
But-
yeah.
Have we done a thumbnail on what the impact on the ratepayers might be at this point?
That's the chart that the worksheet that I had sent out to you guys. You're going to have to increase rates. There's no question about it. Based on the increase from Leominster and the increase from Fitchburg. And that will be something we need to talk about at our meeting at the end of November.
Okay.
So I had done that worksheet that you could kind of play around.
I remember the worksheet.
numbers,
Yeah.
and I can send it out again so everyone can.
No,
play
I'm
with
sorry.
it.
You're right.
Yeah.
I remember you sent the sheet.
Yeah. So, but we've really got to look at that and see what we need to increase the rates to.
And how we explain that to the ratepayers.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, Mike, did you say, how do we explain it to the
I said,
ratepayers?
and some discussion about how we communicate with the ratepayers.
Right. Okay.
Now, I think we're still waiting for a couple of numbers too, Mike. I think we're waiting. We know we have 100,000 coming in from ARPA money for sewer covers.
Yep.
We got to look at any kind of, like if Leominster says, okay, we're going to do this, that would come off the budget. If the Aqua money gets increased by $1 million, do we get any of that money? Blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
So,
No, I know it's still in play. It's still in flux.
so,
We just need to plan ahead. Okay. Any other questions or offerings regarding the IMA? No? Okay. The business manager's report.
Update on system maintenance and upgrades. I did send out an update, but things have been added since then. I actually met with Robert Lilly today. Both Bill and I met with him. He is our technician from CTE. We need to do wet well cleaning on 4 stations, and 3 of those stations we actually have to do an entry, and that would be Dana, Mass One, and Leominster. So I have to contact a vendor to give us a quote on that. The control panels for 2 of the stations have been ordered. The cranes have been installed at 3 stations.
Nice.
The Power Products is the company currently inspecting the generators, and I have talked with Wade about capital planning as well as Robert, because we really need to start thinking about our budget for next fiscal year. And this is a big issue with, making sure that we retain the amount of money that we need to cover these capital expenditures. So I'm really looking for their input. What we had planned with Al was basically we were going to devote all of our funding to 1 generator. And in talking with Robert today, he thinks there are other higher priority issues. So I asked him to please take a look at the spreadsheet and give me a priority list of things that he thinks we need. There was a clogging issue at Leominster Road and at Dana Street. So there were 2 clogs. The check valve was clogged with rags at Leominster Road, and the check valve and the pump. Check valve and the pump were clogged at Leominster Road. Dana Street, the check valve was clogged with rags. So I did ask Robert to look into the possibility of basically it's a macerator that you put in before the pump to check and see if that's a viable option.
Yeah, Paula, I have an email from one of the engineers at Dulles and Roy, one of those units that he was involved with. He thinks it was probably a lot bigger than what we would need. They can be pretty expensive, but if 2 pumps shut down at the same location, that could end up being pretty costly also. So
exactly.
I forgot to forward that email to you. I'll make sure I get that to you.
Okay. I don't know that this is something that comes under system maintenance, but I did just want to give you guys kind of an update on the Mass Ave Main Street situation. We did receive a letter from an attorney retained by the property owner, and that was flooded, which has now been sent to our insurance company, and Bill and I are working on filling out a report for the insurance company. So just to give you an update on that. Another issue that you guys talked about at your last meeting or 2 meetings ago was the reboot, formerly known as Lab Elena. You had asked for copies. This is the situation with a grease permit, and you had granted him permission to just submit the invoices showing that he had pumped the system. I have not received those invoices, nor have I received the application for the annual permit, nor have any of the bills been paid since connection. So as of the last time I talked, his bill was in excess of $15,000. So I did receive an email from the business manager today that he wants to meet with me tomorrow to talk about a plan. So when he sent me that email, I said I'd be happy to meet with him, but I wanted the grease trap application, the fee, and the invoices. So just to give you an update on that.
Okay. Let's,
Um,
let's hope we can work something out tomorrow.
Yep. The enterprise fund, the fiscal year 23 is finally closed. We brought in $48,734.05 more than we thought. And basically that was due to sewer betterment payoffs. Our revenue from our user charges was actually down $61,180.36. We had forecasted 1.1 million and we brought in 1 million and change. So total at the end of the year, we were not able to accomplish all of the work that we wanted to. But we had a surplus at the end of the year of $190,730.19. Our retained earnings has been certified by the town accountant in early November, and our retained earnings right now in the enterprise fund is $2,124,854.
So I want to make something clear here. That if you guys remember, we were going through our budgets. We budgeted in a deficit because we didn't have all the monies in. And there's a good example of why. Okay, so for the people who thought that the sewer division was going down the tubes, it's not. It's just the way the fiscal year works. And so Paula, thank you for those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I see the certification of the 2.2 million. So thank you. And you, Bill, too, for doing the job.
Okay. Any questions on that before I go on?
Yeah, before you go on, a quick question about the wet well cleaning. When they have to enter the Dana Street wet well, do we have to rent a pump truck to bypass the well?
Yes,
Okay. And that would be the case at each one of the wells.
exactly.
And do you know, does that cleaning take, can all three be done in one day, do you know, or?
I don't know. That's the calls I have to make, and I don't know the cost. So those are the calls I have to make, is how many days are we looking at and what's the cost going to be?
Okay. All right. That was my only question.
Update on software conversion. Quite frankly, to put it in a nutshell, it's been a nightmare. The bill printing issue was solved by Dan Nadareski, who is our IT employee of the town. He did a great job in helping me get through that. After trying to work with Tyler Tech and members of SUSER who were unsuccessful, I was very happy that Dan was actually finally able to get the bills printing. However, when we did the training run, we had a training session on myself and Mylene Malary, who was the town treasurer and tax collector, and we went through a bill run in training. And at the time, I noticed that some of the amounts were off on the current bills. And so when we went to the live version, I had created a spreadsheet that basically calculated the amount due for every single bill. And line by line, when we did the billing, I checked to make sure that the amount we were charging for this bill was correct, and they all are correct. The problem we're having is that on some of the bills, and I did send out some examples to you guys, is that on some of the bills, the prior balance and the amounts paid are incorrect. So the majority of bills, the amount due is correct. But if you actually physically do the math on the bill, it is not correct. But the amount due is correct. There are a few bills that the amount due is incorrect. As of right now, and I have spent probably 90 hours in the last 2 weeks, maybe even more, going through these bills. I've been up to 11:30 to 10 o'clock. It's been crazy. But to date, when I had sent it out last week, I thought it was 50 accounts. It is 74 accounts as of now that are incorrect. There are many that I have determined the math is incorrect, but I have to determine whether or not the amount due is incorrect. As of right now, I have 5 bills that the amount due is incorrect. The other bills are simply a matter of incorrect payments received, but the amount due is correct. What it looks like is happening on some of the bills is the outstanding balance is actually the amount that they paid, and the numbers are reversed. And on some bills, the penalties and interest are not calculating correctly. So I have reached out to Tyler Tech. I have reached out to Suzer. I reached out to the town manager, because obviously I don't want this to happen again. The Tyler Tech and I connected on Friday, and the technician that I was working with named Jamin was not able to determine the reason, and actually went into one of the accounts where the amount due is incorrect and tried to apply a credit to correct the balance due and wasn't able to. So he has escalated to his supervisor, and I contacted him again today to try to find out what the status was, because he told me he would get back to me today. They are still looking at it, so I don't have an update on where we are. Heather did reach out to me today and asked if other communities have seen something like this. Quite frankly, I've been so consumed with doing this that I haven't reached out to other communities. I can tell you that Fitchburg is still encountering issues with Munis, but not similar to what we have encountered. I do know one town did have an issue with the outstanding balances not being correct on bills, but I haven't done a deeper dive into that. So what I plan to do, and I'm looking really for direction from the commission, is as I find bills that are incorrect, basically creating a Word document bill to send out with a corrected amount, and a letter explaining that we were on a new system and we encountered some errors. We sent out 956 bills, and of those, so far, 74 are incorrect. I've been going through every individual bill and manually making sure that they're okay, which obviously is very time consuming.
Paula, can I ask you one question there? So
Sure.
We're talking 8% of our bills right now are in error, correct?
Right.
Can you explain to me and to this board who are the players? You mentioned Dan, which we know Dan, he's our Bloomberg IT guy. He's a very good guy. Who is Tyler Tech?
Tyler Tech is the company that created Munis, and they're the company that basically Tyler Tech is Munis. Tyler Tech and Munis are synonymous.
So who is Suzer?
Suzer is the IT company hired by the town that oversees all of our computer equipment and our system.
So who are we supposed to, what's the chain of command? Who do we talk to?
I honestly can't tell you. When I put in a ticket to Suzer, you go to suzerit.com, you put in a ticket and explain what the issue is you're having, and they say that a technician will get back to you. Typically that technician is Dan. I know that Casey is the representative for the town. She's the individual who's mainly on site for Suzer. She did meet with me the end of last week to take a look at the bills, and I explained to her what the issue was, and she was surprised at the severity of the issue. But the chain of command, I couldn't really tell you.
Okay, one question then. Does Dan work for Suzer or does he
No.
work for Bloomberg?
He works for the town of Lunenburg.
So why would he be reporting to Suzer?
You'd have to ask the town manager that.
So have you talked to the town manager and explained to her the severity of what's going on?
I have sent numerous emails, and I have sent the same illustrations I sent to you guys showing the bills and what's happening. Today I went into more detail when she reached out and said, have other communities had this problem? But have I had a face-to-face conversation with her? No. And my first face-to-face conversation with Suzer was on Friday.
So I guess what I'm saying is, what is the chain of command? So we have a problem. You talk to Dan first?
No, it goes to Suzer IT first.
All right, so Suzer, have they been responsive to you or just bring it
No.
back?
No, they have not.
All right, so we're still into this now, week 2,
November 6th is when the problem was discovered.
still week, what's today's date? Almost week 2 that we're in this, right?
Week 2, yeah.
For something like this, and Sousa's not responding, I would ask those questions to the town manager, why aren't they responding? Ooh, Tyler Tech, either next part of the chain of command?
They're the people who created the software. They're the generators of the software.
Okay, so they know it, but what have they been doing for you to try to fix it? Anything, or?
The first interaction that I had with them was on Friday, which was I've sent them numerous things and initiated a ticket on the 6th when I found the bills went out on the 2nd. When I found out on the 6th that there was a problem by a customer who said, I never have a previous balance. Why is my bill showing a previous balance? And he was 100% correct. He should not have had an outstanding balance. And that's when I started going through the bills individually and discovered that there were problems, put the ticket into Tyler Tech on Monday when I found out about the problem, and didn't connect with anyone from Tyler Tech,
Okay,
remotely until the 10th.
so is Dan acting as the liaison for you to Sousa?
Casey is the one Casey from Suzer is the one who has asked me about this issue. So it hasn't been referred to Dan, it went to Suzer. And like I said, I talked to Casey on the 10th.
It's just hard for me to believe, Paula, that we spent almost 90-something hours of your time and the department's time during a busy time of year, and we're still sitting here with bad bills. And this is absolutely outrageous. And I'm afraid that if this is the case, what's going on in the other parts of town that have to do billing? I think this has to be taken seriously. So I guess, Mr. Chair, what is our next step? Do we just let Paula work for another 90 hours? This is stupid.
No, I certainly hope not. I mean, I think the common factor is here, the town manager. The town manager, hopefully at this point in time, she understands the seriousness of this. And it's not, I don't know if it was Dave or Paula mentioned that it's not just what's going on with the sewer bills, which is a known issue. It's, is there anything else going on? And, with the tax bills coming up, I don't know enough about Munis. Can the same kind of thing happen with the tax bills? But, the town upgraded Munis, the town hired Sousa, that all comes under the town manager. I think the town manager is the one that's going to have to really get Tyler Tech to understand this needs to be one of their top priorities.
Mr. Chair, through you, Bill, have you talked to town manager about the severity of this, or should it be you, or I'm just trying to find out our chain of command as well.
I haven't directly. Paula's put me on all of our emails, so I know that Heather, the town manager, is aware of the issues. I'll talk to her tomorrow, tell her the severity.
I mean, are we getting reports, Paula, about how much money is in the account, and are we getting any of that back? Bills being paid, anything like that?
Honestly, Dave, I got to be honest with you. This has literally been all consuming. I've been working late every day and then working from home. So I haven't even done anything with the other bills. I will tell you that I got an invoice from Nexamp today with an overdue notice, and I got an overdue notice from Verizon. The bills were submitted. But I can't tell you what the status is. I have to go back into the Munis and find out whether or not checks have been cut. And I haven't had a chance to do that. Because literally every minute of my time has been spent with this, because I don't want to leave bills out there that are incorrect. So I'm trying to go through every bill to make sure that they're correct.
I did look at some of the bills, and I was kind of concerned about even the address has changed. It was supposed to be billed to Boston, and they got it being mailed to the DPW. Is that correct?
Yeah, they left the Boston address off the bills. And so I probably have right now 60 or 70 payments that came into our office that I have to get up to the tax collector's office, which is a problem. I mean, that shouldn't be the way it goes. It should go directly to either the tax collector or to the Boston address. because then they will input them. So it saves everyone time because that's the company that they put them in. And then they're uploaded. So it saves the employees time. The additional information, they also left off the interest rate and the $115 minimum charge. They left that off the bill. So there's a problem with the format of the form itself. I have had some elderly people especially tell me that the bills are extremely tiny and asking if the font can be increased, and I've been told that it cannot.
Mr. Chair, I hate to say this, but as a business, when you run a business and you have a problem getting the bills paid or getting the bills out, that's money we're going to lose. If we're not keeping track of this, it's going to be very hard to try to recover some of this. So, Paula, thank you for what you're doing. But as far as business, this is the worst thing that could happen to any business. Any business is when you have a problem with disruption of bills.
All right, Bill.
Sounds like a total breakdown in the software, some kind of major glitch that's all the way through.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Mike, you want to have any thoughts on this?
Mike Mackin, you're on mute. Mike, you're on mute.
I think I'm unmuted.
No, Mike Mackin, you're muted.
I kind of echo what everybody's saying. I mean, it's a pretty serious situation. Sounds like on the tech side of it, it would be nice to get some better responses, or whoever that supervisor is handling it. At least keep you in the loop. Say, we're on it. This is what we're doing, or whatever. But it doesn't sound like it's in limbo right now, and that's not a good place to be.
I mean, Paula is obviously you've heard everything she has said, and I've been over it at the sewer department probably too often, and it has become overwhelming. But even leading up to this whole changeover has not been a smooth process. Am I overstating that, or I'm
No,
just
gosh, no. And today the system was down for a period of time. You opened it up and your menu was gone, and I put in a ticket to Suzer about that. And then we were getting an error message when we go to run a report. And so I sent that to them. They did fix both of those issues and they did get it up and running, but it has not been a good conversion. I will tell you that.
right?
Mr. Chair.
So again, I'll go back to the question I wanted to ask, which is that just as background, what motivated the conversion? What was the point of the conversion?
So Munis or Tyler Tech was no longer going to support the one we were on, which was version 11. This is version 21, but they would no longer support 11. So
Well, they're not really supporting 21 either, are they?
Apparently.
Just so everyone knows, in my former life, I did software development, installation, conversions. Some might have called them legacy systems, but it's just been pretty painful from what I can see.
And Paula has better things to do. We need her focused on other things.
I'm definitely falling behind. There's no question about that.
Mr. Chair, my question is, I mean, it's the town manager is the only one with the clout to give this tech company enough push here. Is that what I'm hearing? Because we need somebody from that company, probably physically, or at least one-on-one with Paula on the computer, sharing screen, literally going through the whole system. Someone that really knows what they're talking about, that is from the company. What's the bottom line on getting somebody like that? Does anybody know?
I don't know. I know that Heather at one point requested that we have a service business manager that Heather deals with, and she asked it to be escalated, and they did say they would escalate it to someone named Peggy Witten, who I have not heard from. You know, I like I said, I connected, the Tyler texts were going back and forth with me asking, did you recently do a Munis upgrade? That was actually one of the questions that they asked me, and I said yes. But I didn't connect with anyone until the 10th. And I haven't connected with anyone since, so.
I mean, from what I'm hearing, we're entering into an emergency situation here, and Dave is correct about billing. I mean, if we can't get bills out, we're in dead in the water. And whatever it takes, we gotta find a way to get somebody, not just for Heather, to work with Heather, but to work directly with you on our part of the system.
Right.
I think, Mr. Chair, we gotta send a letter to Heather and the Board of Selectmen and tell them they gotta deal with this. It's not our job to deal with this,
I like that.
Okay,
but we're very, very, very concerned because it's our business and they're destroying our business, our reputation that we built up. But one question for Bill is, Bill, have you had any problems with your interactions with Munis?
My interactions are very limited, so the two things that I do have worked pretty much the same as the old system. So
No, understood. Thank you.
all right, Paula, I know you're busy.
Mm.
Maybe you and I could meet for a little while tomorrow, and I think it might be coming up with a little bit of a timeline about some of the issues, and then I can, if the commission agrees, I'll send an email to the selectmen and to Heather, saying that we need better support.
Immediately, if possible.
Yes.
Actually, Mr. Chair, if you could, I would send the letter and then request a personal meeting with her to go see her in person.
Heather?
Yes, I know tomorrow's gonna be hard because of town meeting, but
Yeah,
well, it could be the next day or
yeah,
next.
I would not be able to meet with her tomorrow. I know that.
I just
But
gives
anyway,
Paul
yeah,
another
Paul.
day, you know.
Paul, I have a 10 o'clock appointment. So sometime after that, if we could get together.
Sure.
Okay.
I know that the manager from the reboot is supposed to come in, but I don't know what time. But I'm there from 7 to 3, so anytime you want to come in is fine.
Okay. Any more thoughts or comments from the commission on this particular issue? Okay. All right, so the next item on the agenda is
The job description for the sewer
Job
business manager.
Yep.
So, I don't know if I told you this guy, I don't know what I told you and what I didn't. Did I mention that Heather came to the DPW to talk to the employees and to
Yeah.
get some? Okay.
Yes.
So I did get a call from Julie Bellevue from HR saying that, you know, basically apologizing that she thought by inviting me to public comment that there would be a dialogue with the personnel board. I explained that there can't really be a dialogue without an item on the agenda. And, you know, apparently in the prior town that she worked at, it was more of an open door policy. But I explained that the issue that I had with the not being able to speak directly and have a dialogue with the personnel board. I did go back to the personnel board, and they requested that a job description be written up, a new job description be developed, and that Bill and Julie work on that together. Julie is the HR person. work on that together, and then present something to the personnel board. I did send out to you guys what we came up with. Bill has forwarded that to Julie and has not had a response. So I know he plans to follow up on that.
I'm sorry, was that a statement or a question regarding Bill following up?
No, he's going to follow up.
Okay, that's what I thought it was.
Bill, you can.
Yep, it was a statement. Yep. I will be following up with Julie tomorrow.
Okay. And if I understood correctly from watching the personnel committee meeting on YouTube, that this is an ongoing process. There isn't a short deadline for this. Am I correct on that, Paula?
Well, I kind of have a different viewpoint because they do talk about getting it ready for next town meeting. Their hope was to get it ready for the May town meeting. Then they were shooting for the special town meeting, and they haven't been able to get the work done. But my understanding, and Bill, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is their goal is to get it out, something out for the next May's town meeting.
Next May's town meeting, okay.
Yeah.
And
So I think they're planning on, like Paul said, doing it. And I hope, and I kind of know that they're gonna try to get that right and get it out right. So I think before it goes to town meeting, Paul or I wouldn't be surprised if you and Bill sit down with the personnel just to review. Because I don't think they would sit up there and promote this if it wasn't agreed upon by everybody. My thoughts.
okay, well, Bill,
Bill, your thoughts?
yeah,
Yeah, so I agree. I think they're looking to get everything done by the Maytown meeting. It's been slow and lack of response there. I sent something over 2.5 weeks ago, and I just got a response saying, "Oh, we received it." So things are slow over there. So I don't know.
all right, Dave, well, you're a former personnel committee member.
Very good at it too.
Yeah, is this,
No,
It's normal because they're all working on the personnel committee. So to come up with a program, they're trying to change it and make it fair. It takes time. I mean, because they're evaluating different towns and different modulars. I think what they were doing, they should have explained to everybody what they were doing, and instead of misunderstandings, I think a lot of it, and again, from what I see, has been a misunderstanding. But I'm glad we got it out and let them know that before stuff gets out, it should be relayed to everybody that they're working on this system. And that's really what they're trying to do. I think the personnel committee themselves are trying to improve what was there.
look, Paula, let's keep this on the agenda.
Okay.
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 Assistant to the sewer business manager.
Good news is that we found a fantastic candidate. Her name is Camille Farrar, and Bill and I interviewed her. She's currently working in the fire department in Pepperell as their administrative assistant. She previously worked in the town of Shirley in the sewer department. She was one of the first to set up the sewer billing system and to get the system running and off the ground. I think
Did
she's
they
gonna
use
be-
Munis?
Huh?
Did they use Munis?
No, they did not. So, but I think she's going to be a really great employee and an asset for the commission.
Great, great.
When did she start, Paul?
November 28th. I wish it was tomorrow.
I was just gonna say, I wish it was now. I wish it was last week after seeing you.
Me too.
Okay, any questions for the business manager?
One, Mr. Chair. So the maintenance program, has anyone, Bill, have you looked at the maintenance program at all? We spent a lot of money on this. This is going back to 2020. We're putting money away as capital expenditures to cover some of the maintenance issues. I'd like to go back to this in January if we can. And I mean, we're still putting money in the budget, Paula, is that correct? Or I know put money in there before.
Yeah, I didn't do the fiscal 24 budget. That was, done by Barb. As we work on the fiscal 25 budget, Bill and I will be working really closely together to make sure that we fund capital expenditures.
Yeah.
I know Bill's been working on trying to get the jetting done, to get the 3 miles of jetting done, per year. So we're really working to implement that maintenance plan. Robert Lilly has turned out to be a great asset to the commission. This is our rep from CTE. He has requested copies of the maintenance plan. He's requested copies of all the flow reports. He's really interested in reducing I&I. That's not something I mentioned, and I should, is that he came in today and talked with Bill and I, and the two places that he's seeing heavy I&I is West Street and Mass 3. West Street, he said that there's a dip in the roadway and the water is actually collecting directly over the wet well and the manhole in front of the wet well. So Bill's going to take a look at that. Additionally, the tank cover needs to be replaced. So I asked him today to get a quote on that. But West Street, he's seeing a heavy I&I problem, and as well as Mass 3. So we need to investigate that further, but he's taken a real interest in all of the facets of the operation, not just troubleshooting problems, which is great.
That's fantastic.
Did we ever buy the meter? I thought we were going to do that portable meter.
I have to follow up with Mahoney. I did a purchase order. I have the quote. I put in the order, but we haven't received the appliance. So I've got to follow up with them and find out why.
Okay. I just know we worked real hard, this board, to make up the capital budgets because this business didn't have one before. So it's like make sure that we take advantage of the capital budgets that we have. And like I said, a lot of work was put into that plan. And Bill, you're probably doing 90% of it now. It's just that every quarter we should get an update of where we are on it. That's all.
So Dave, do you want to have, go ahead.
And if
Go ahead.
we can say any of that with Leominster I&I or IMA.
Okay. Do you want to add this to agenda in the not too distant future to specifically talk about?
Yeah, January.
Okay.
So what I'd like to do is, I know that I talked to Wade and I talked to Robert from CTE, since they're the hands-on people with the system, and I really stress that we need the capital plan and capital expenditures. As you guys know, I've sent it out previously. Al and I had worked on one, but it was in very rough form for a 5-year forecast. And we were looking at about $100,000 a year in capital expenditures. That may be significantly more as we get into the system and find out what needs to be replaced. I know Robert today mentioned that some of the pumps are getting very tired, and then he'd like to start replacing those pumps. And so I asked him, really put together a spreadsheet, put together your wish list, prioritize it so that we can plan for it. So I'd like to have them present at that meeting. Wade really wants the generator reports before he tackles the capital plan. But I think January will be great because we should have those by then.
So are you thinking maybe the first or the second meeting in January? Probably the second.
Well, I'd like to do the first, actually.
Okay. If you think that's going to give everyone enough time to.
Worst case, we
move it out.
act on it and we move it out.
Okay.
I know on the capital plan when we designed that, and Mike Garneau and John Reynolds, it was the three of us working on that, if you remember. And I thought we were going to put away 50 to 75,000 a year. Do you guys remember that? Or is it just me thinking about that?
I don't remember the exact number, but we were supposed to put funds away, yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact number either.
So I've got to find out where we are with that because I honestly can't tell you.
Right. Okay. Any other questions for the business manager?
Hang in there, Paula.
I'm trying.
Okay. Has any public joined us?
No.
No. Okay. Any public comment? Seeing none. The upcoming meetings, we've talked about the maintenance for the January meeting. And we have, let's see, November 21st, December 12th, and now traditionally, I believe we do not have the second meeting in December because it's always so close to Christmas.
It would be the day after Christmas.
This year, yep.
Yeah.
So does anyone have a problem with not having a meeting the last week in December?
Sounds good to me.
Mike, you're muted, Mike Mackin.
Mike, you holding a cat?
Yes, he is.
Yes, the cat has to be in every meeting. Every meeting, the cat has to appear.
What's the name of your cat?
This is Stella. Her sister is Luna.
Oh, cute.
Well, while we're talking about this, I will not be available for the meeting of November the 28th. I just wanted to note that.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we scheduled for a meeting on the 28th?
No, we're not scheduled on the 28th. We're scheduled on the 21st, I believe.
Oh, okay, fine.
No, it's the 28th.
I got the.
I thought it was the 28th. That's what was in my calendar.
Okay, I'm looking at the agenda. It says the 21st.
Yeah.
It's the 28th.
It is. It would be the
It would
28th.
be the
Okay.
28th.
Stupid
It's that same computer glitch, I'm telling you.
Stupid muse.
Okay, so getting back to the December 26th, are we all in favor of not having a meeting that night?
Yep, do you need a motion on it?
I don't think so.
But yes, we are.
Okay. Mike Knoll, I mean, do you agree with that?
Yeah, it was on my Christmas list, but I guess I could cross it off.
And
Very generous of you.
Mike Mackin, I think you're in
I'm
favor.
good.
Okay, Dave, obviously.
You know, what would happen if Mike now said no? What would we do?
He'd be outvoted.
We would have the meeting at his house.
Okay, cool.
No, then
We
we
can't.
would make it official and have a vote.
Okay.
All right, there you go.
Mr. Chair, one last question. Jane, are you going to be at the town meeting tomorrow?
No, I can't.
Okay. I know you kind of work the rooms, but well, if I
Um,
don't see you, happy Thanksgiving.
I can't leave my mother by herself.
No, understood. God bless you.
I do want to mention that both of the articles for the sewer commission, which is transfers to other accounts, is under the consent calendar. So unless the consent calendar is not passed, they won't be brought up individually. But if the consent calendar does not pass, someone from the sewer commission should be prepared to read the motion. Is who will be in attendance?
You will be.
Will you be?
Oh, I'm definitely going to be. I urge everybody to go to town meeting tomorrow.
I'm gonna
Dave's
do my
gonna at
best to
least
be
be
there.
there until one motion or one item, so.
Okay, so either Dave or I will read it. I don't envision that it's going to happen. So
Brett, you going to town meeting tomorrow? Brett,
Actually, I plan to be there unless something is unavoidable.
okay.
Okay. Unless anyone has anything else, if someone wants to make a motion to close our meeting, which has now gone over an hour.
Yeah, we had a lot to go over though. So happy
I'm
Thanksgiving.
being kind of facetious here, Dave, but
So we're not going to see you guys until after Thanksgiving, correct?
right.
right.
Oh,
Right.
sorry, I was distracted by someone trying to call me here. I would like to make a motion to close the meeting.
Second.
Any further discussion about that? Seeing none, let's take a roll call vote. Let me move my screen over here. Brett,
Aye.
Dave,
I
Mike Mackin,
Aye.
Mike Nault,
Aye.
I for myself. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you all. And
Happy
Paul,
Thanksgiving, all.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Happy
everybody.
Thanksgiving,
Night,
everyone.
Lillian Bird.
night.
Happy gobble gobble.
Night, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Take care.
See you, Jane. Thanks, Jane.